Hello Yogis, Tosi here, and today I am joining you from Greece. I have a full body relaxation video. We're talking from the neck to the shoulders, your back, your hips, your legs, your feet. We're gonna get it all, stretch it out, and hopefully you feel amazing after this video. So if that's what you're looking for, join me on your mat and I will see you soon. Today we're going to get started seated on our mats in a crisscross applesauce or butterfly position. So sit yourself down however that feels comfortable. And wherever you are, imagine a line being drawn from the bottom of your tailbone all the way up through the top of your head, elongating through your spine. Relax your shoulders down away from your ears. We're just going to start with some neck circles. So relax your head down. Take an inhale, lift your head over to the right side. Relax it down to the left. As you exhale, inhale, lift it up. Exhale, relax it down. Continuing these neck circles, relax your shoulders away from your ears. Noticing if there's any additional pain. If there is, hold your posture in that one position and shake your head yes or no, depending on where it is. And we'll take this to the other side. So inhale, lifting to the left. Exhale, releasing down to the right. I hope everyone is joining this video feeling great this morning. Ready to stretch it out and feel even better. One more breath, inhale. Exhale. Good. From there, bring your head up. Bring your hands side to side, fingertips tinted onto the ground. Take your head and tilt it over to the right side of your body. From there, option to place your right hand on top of your head. Create a little bit of pressure. No need to pull down all the way, just some light tension. It's still pointing your left fingertips down towards the ground. And take an inhale, lift your gaze up towards the sky. Exhale, lower it down towards the ground. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Working out the left side of our neck. 2 more. Last one. Inhale. Exhale. Release your hands down to the ground. This time we'll take your head to the opposite side. So bring your head over to the left-hand side. Bring your left hand on top of your head. And then take your gaze, lift it up. And lower down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Last one, inhale. Exhale. Release your hands to your knees. Roll through your shoulders a little bit. Keep your hands down by your sides. Send your fingertips away from your body energetically. Take an inhale, sweep your arms up. At the top, interlace your fingers, exhale and pull your arms down. Flip your palms away from your body. Allow your back to curve. Take an inhale. And exhale, release all the way. I like to call these good morning stretches. We're gonna take these a few times together. Inhale, reach up. Interlace, exhale, push down. Flip your palms away, inhale. Exhale. Getting into our shoulders now. We first work through our neck. Now working those shoulders out. And inhale. Exhale. Last one. Inhale. Sweep your arms high. Interlace and pull down. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, release. Moving on to some more shoulder stretches. Bring your hands, goalpost them out in front of you so your elbows are at a 90-degree angle. Take your right hand, bring it underneath your left, and option to drop your hands down onto your shoulders, give yourself a bear hug. If you want to take this a little deeper and find the full bind, eagle arms, twist your arms together, and then find that connection with your palms. From here, bring your elbows up in line with your shoulders. If your hands are on your shoulders, keep them there, and then walk them closer together. If you're joining me in full eagle arms, power your arms forward away from your face. Allow the back of your body to open, your shoulder blades. Relax your head down, hold and breathe for 3 breaths. Remembering that we are taking big inhales. So full breaths in, filling your belly up. And releasing your breath out, feeling your belly come back to normal. Last breath. Good. Release your hands down, roll through your shoulders. We'll take this on the other side. Goalpost your arms out in front of you. Bring your left arm underneath your right. Option to drop down, give a bear hug, and walk your fingertips in towards one another. Or find the full bind, interlace. Bring your elbows up in line with your shoulders. Power your fingertips away from you. Relax your head down. 3 breaths, yogis. Last breath. Inhale. Exhale. Release your hands down. Roll through your shoulders once again. Now meet me in a tabletop position on your mats. In your tabletop position, you want to stack your shoulders on top of your wrists and your hips on top of your knees. So finding proper alignment, stacking our bones and muscles up on top of one another is going to help with proper stretching and to avoid any injuries. So, tabletop position. From there, bring your big toes to touch, spread your knees out wide, sink your hips back towards your heels. Walk your hands forward, relax your chest down towards the ground, and find your child's pose. If there's any pain in your knees, you can set a pillow underneath your glutes, keeping your hips a little bit higher so you don't have that tension in your knees. Relax your hips down. Allow your chest to surrender into your fingertips forward. Find the stretch in your arms, maybe in your spine and your low back as well. One more breath. Inhale, shift your weight forward back into a tabletop position. From there, keep your hips high, taking a little play on our child's pose. Start to walk your hands forward, bring your forearms to the ground. If this is enough for your shoulders, stay right here. If you want to take the full traditional puppy dog pose, continue to walk your arms out straight, relax your chest down towards the ground, and stretch in your shoulders. That's where you should feel this. Take one more breath. Inhale, shift your weight forward, tabletop position. Stack your shoulders back over your wrists. Let your shoulders relax just a little bit, and we will move on. One more shoulder stretch before we move on. Round down into your left hand. Inhale, reach your right arm up high, finding the twist in your spine. Exhale, bring your right hand in between that space you created with your left hand and your left knee, threading your needle. Relax your right shoulder down onto the ground. Walk your left hand towards the top of the mat and settle into your space, holding for 3 breaths. Pull your left hand back in towards your head. Grab into your left hand. Inhale, reach your right arm up. Find the counter twist. Exhale, set it down. We'll take it all on the other side. Inhale, reach your left arm up high. Exhale, thread your needle. Relax your left shoulder down. Walk your right hand towards the top of your mat. Allow your spine to twist, resting on your left shoulder. Holding for 3 breaths. Last breath. Pull your right hand back by your head. Take an inhale, reach your left arm high, counter twist. Exhale, set it down, tabletop position. Shake through your shoulders a little bit, and we will move on. Inhale, lift your gaze, send your tailbone up towards the sky. Thread your chest through your shoulders, so pull your shoulders back along your body. Now take a breath in, find your cow pose. Exhale, push your palms into the mat, reach your spine up towards the sky for cat pose. Inhale, cow, lift your chest, lift your tailbone. Exhale, cat, reach it up. We'll flow through this, linking your own breath to movement. If anything else feels good in your spine, maybe take some C curves. Two more breaths to play around here, working through your spine. Maybe your core gets a little stretched too. I did abs yesterday and my core is sore. Last breath. Inhale. Exhale. Release it out. Find your stable tabletop position. Flip onto your toes and just shift your weight back. So your toes should be on the ground, your heels facing up towards the sky, and stretching through the soles of your feet. If this feels like enough for you, stay right here. If you want a little bit more intensity, start to walk your hands back towards your knees. Bring your hands onto your knees and find screaming toe. So this is really intense in the bottom of your feet. So if this does not feel good, stay leaning forward. The modified child's pose. Holding for 2 or 3 breaths. Last one. Inhale. Exhale. Walk your hands back into the tabletop position. Untuck your toes, wiggle through them, roll through your ankles, bring some blood flow back into your feet. Bring your toes back onto the ground. Walk your hands a palm print forward. Inhale, lift your hips high, sink your heels back. Find your downward facing dog, your first down dog of class. Pedal out your dog, stretch through your legs. So bend into one knee, bend into the other. If stillness is calling your name today, focus on lifting your tailbone up towards the sky, pushing your chest back towards your thighs, and then melting your heels down towards the ground. Remember to keep a micro bend in your knees to protect through your joints. Hold and breathe here for 2 more breaths. Maybe wagging your tail side to side feels good. Take that right now, if you please. Last breath. Inhale, look to the top of your mat. Exhale, step your feet forward, forward fold. Right in your forward fold, remembering to keep this micro bend in your knees. Option to grab opposite elbows. Surrender your chest down. Allow the weight of your arms to pull you down towards the ground. Continue to stretch through your legs. If you want to feel this a little bit more in your spine, generously bend through your knees, allowing your spine to curve over your legs. You should feel this in your low back, upper back. And finally, surrender your head down, releasing through your neck. Hold for 2 breaths. Switch your grip here, grab opposite elbows if you chose to do so. If If you'd like to feel this more in your legs, straighten out a little through your legs. Take this out of your back and then allow your head again to surrender. One more breath. Release your hands down towards the ground. Toe heel your feet a little bit wider. And then grab peace fingers in between your big toe and second toe. A little bit of mobility work here, stretching through your hips, your legs. Take a breath in. And exhale, start to bend into your knees. Lift your chest up, stretch through your hips. I know it's a little early, but see how this feels. We're gonna flow this a few times, linking breath to movement. Inhale, lift your hips high. Exhale, sink your hips down, bring your chest up. Inhale. Exhale. Breathe it in. And out. 3 more. Last 2. Last breath. Good. Inhale, bring your hips high. Bring your hands down towards the ground. Bring them onto your knees. Slowly roll yourself up one vertebrae at a time until you're all the way at the top of your mat. Roll your shoulders back. Step your feet together and find your mountain pose. We're gonna flow through a few sun A's just to get your body warm a little bit before we continue to stretch through your legs. So meet me at the top of your mat and we'll start to flow. Inhale, sweep your arms up high, reach towards the sky. Exhale, swan dive your chest down, allowing your legs to stay straight. Bring your hands down to the ground, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Plant your hands on your shins or your thighs. Shift weight into your toes, slight hover in your heels. If you have a sway in your back, pull your belly button back and find that slight tuck in your tailbone. This is your halfway lift. Take a breath in. Exhale, forward fold, release your hands down. Inhale, sweep your arms high, mountain pose. Exhale, swan, dive it down, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, form your number 7 with your body. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweep it up. Exhale, swan dive. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. 2 more here. Inhale, reach all the way out through your fingertips, growing so wide. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release it. Last one. Inhale, reach it up. Exhale, release it down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step your feet back to a high plank position, and push straight back into a downward facing dog. Pedal out, find that sweet spot in your down dog, and then find stillness lifting through your tailbone. Take a breath here, stretching one more time through your legs, keeping a little micro bend in your knees. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, sweep your right heel high, find 3-legged dog. Kick your right heel in towards your glute, open up your hip. Good, finding a scorpion dog. Maybe you take some knee circles, relaxing even more through your hips. One more breath to play around. And then kick your right heel high once again, paralleling your hips down towards the ground. Take an inhale, lift up 1 inch higher. And exhale, plant your right foot through your hands at the top of your mat and drop your back knee down towards the ground, untuck your back toes. From here, option to stay with your hands on the ground, or if you have blocks, if that feels better, place them under your hands. If you want to stick with me, bring your hands onto your knees. Allow your hip flexor to drop down towards the ground. You should feel this in your left hip flexor. Holding and breathing here for a few breaths. Remembering to relax your shoulders away from your ears. Allow your belly to balloon out as you breathe in. And pull back as you exhale. With every exhale, see if you can release a little bit more of your hip tension. Last breath, yogis. Exhale, release your hands down to the ground. From there, straighten through your right leg. Pull your right toes back towards your face or your shin. Walk your hands back slightly, and then find your hamstring stretch or your half splits. Bring your right thumb into your right hip crease. Bump your right hip back and down in space. Good. Allow yourself to feel that stretch just a little more. I like to come to fists here, just to protect my wrists and my fingers. If this is a little too intense, again, if you have blocks or books, stack them underneath your hand. That'll help create a little bit of stability. Two more breaths. Last breath. Release it out. Walk your hands back to frame your right foot. And this time, bring your hands up. If you have any knee pain, set a pillow underneath your left knee or a block. We're gonna take a quad stretch here. Bring your left arm up towards the sky. Power it back towards your left foot. Start to pull your left foot in towards your glutes. Still allowing your left hip to drop down just a little bit. That'll help you feel it more in your quad. Last breath, yogis. Release your left foot down. Bring your hands back to frame your right foot. Pull your right knee back to equal your left. Find your tabletop position. Rock your hips side to side. Take a breath in. And a breath out. Moving on to the other side. Bring your toes onto the ground. Inhale, lift your hips high. Exhale, push your heels down towards the ground, downward facing dog. Inhale, sweep your left heel high. Kick your left heel in towards your glutes. Allow your hips to open up. Find your scorpion dog. Option to take some hip or knee circles. One more breath. Bring your leg back straight. Turn your left hip so it equals your right. Parallel your hips down to the ground. Inhale, lift your left heel high. Exhale, low lunge. Step your left foot through your hands at the top of your mat. Find the 90-degree angle, stacking your left knee directly on top of your ankle. And then drop your right knee down to the ground. Untuck your toes. Option to stay with your hands on the ground. Or bring your hands onto your left knee. Allow your right hip flexor this time to release down, stretching through your leg. Soften through your shoulders, keeping your gaze parallel to the ground. This is where we can start to think of if you set an intention for class, or you can set one now if you'd like. One quote that I really like is, think of if what you're doing today is getting you closer to where you want to be tomorrow, or where you want to be in 1 year, 5 years, 10 years. So if you start thinking that way, you'll start to move with a little bit more intention throughout your life. So after working with my life coach, I stopped thinking about productivity and I started thinking about intentionality. I'll talk a little bit more about that when I switch us in postures. Bring your hands down to the ground and start to walk your hands back. Pull your left toes back towards your shin. Straighten through your left leg. Find your hamstring or your half split stretch. Take your left thumb, place it in your left hip crease. Bump your hip back and down in space. Hold and breathe here. So when I used to wake up every day, I used to think of productivity, but that kind of has a negative connotation. Because if you're you're not productive, you're unproductive, and that doesn't really feel too good. So instead of that, I started shifting to doing everything with intention, or working to where I work towards my goals. And that felt a lot better. Take one more breath here. Inhale. Exhale. Release your breath. Walk your hands back forward. Bring your hands back onto your knees or setting onto blocks or books. And we'll take our quad stretch. Reach your right arm high. Power it behind you. Kick your right heel in towards your glutes and take your quad stretch. Allow your right hip to drop down just a tad. Again, if you have any knee pain, set a pillow, a cushion, a block, or something underneath your right knee. Or you can double over your yoga mat. It also feels good. Last breath in. Exhale, drop your back heel down. Bring your hands onto the ground and then pull your left knee back to equal your right tabletop position. Flip onto your toes, lift your hips high, downward facing dog. Inhale, look to the top of your mat. Exhale, step your feet forward, forward fold. Inhale, mountain pose, raise your arms up. Exhale, swan, dive down, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, form your number 7. Exhale, plant your hands, step your feet straight back to a downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your right heel high. Exhale, low lunge, step it through your hands at the top of your mat. Drop your back knee down, untuck your toes. Good, hold here, allowing your hip flexor to stretch. Option to bring your hands to your right knee. Take a breath in. A big sigh out. 2 more breaths. Last breath in. Exhale. Bring your hands onto the ground. Pull your hips back. Pull your right toes back towards your heel. Good. Hip flexor stretch. Hamstring stretch. Holding for 3 breaths. Walk your hands back to frame your right foot. Rebend into your knee. Take your quad. Inhale, reach your left arm high. Power it back. Pull your left heel in towards your glute. Holding for 3 breaths, yogis. Release it down. Hands back onto your mat. Pull your right knee back to equal your left. Take a breath in. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your left heel high. Exhale, low lunge. Step your foot through your hands. Drop down to your back knee. And bring your hands onto your knees if it feels good. Find your deep breaths for 2 more counts. Last count. Release your hands down, straighten through your left leg, pull your toes back, hamstring stretch. 2 more breaths. Last breath. Rebend into your left knee. Inhale, right arm high. Exhale, grab for your right foot, quad stretch. Last breath. Release your hands. Pull your left knee back to equal your right. Take an inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. Lift your hips up and back. Inhale, look to the top of your mat. Exhale, step your feet forward, forward fold. Inhale, mountain pose, sweep it up. Exhale, swan dive down, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step back, downward facing dog. We'll pull this one more time. Inhale, lift your right heel high. Exhale, low lunge, step it through, drop your knee down. Inhale, reach it up, hold and breathe, 2 breaths. Big exhale. Last breath, inhale. Exhale. Bring your hands down, straighten through your right leg, hamstring stretch. Last breath. Rebend into your right knee. Inhale, sweep your left arm high. Exhale, quad stretch. One more breath. Exhale. Release your hands down to the ground. Pull your right leg back to equal your left. Take a breath in. Exhale, downward facing dog. Left side, inhale, lift your left heel high. Exhale, low lunge, step it through. Drop down to your back knee. Take a breath in, lift it up. Hold for your exhale. One more breath, inhale. Exhale. Release your hands down. Straighten through your left leg. Pull your left toes back towards your shin. 2 breaths. Last breath. Breathe into your left knee. Inhale, sweep your right arm high. Exhale, quad stretch. Hold for your breath. Last one. Exhale. Release it down. Bring your hands onto your mat. Pull your left knee back to your right. Inhale, bring your toes to the ground. Exhale, lift your hips, downward facing dog. Inhale, look to the top of your mat. Exhale, step your feet forward, forward fold. Inhale, mountain, sweep it up. Exhale, swan, dive it down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step your feet back, downward facing dog. Moving on to our final hip stretches. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, step your feet forward. Release yourself down onto your glutes. Finding a seated position. How's everyone feeling? I hope you feel great. I hope your legs, your hips feel stretched out. A few more hip stretches and then we will be on our way. So, if you are in your crisscross applesauce position, I want you to bring your left leg out. Bring your right leg shin parallel to the top of your mat. Good. So you have your shins parallel. Awesome. And then what we're going to do is bring your left leg on top of your right, setting your ankle on top of your knee. Good. And then option to push this down. If your hip is not there yet, find a pillow or something to put in between your knee and your ankle to hold here. Let's sit up tall. Allow your shoulders to relax. Maybe you drift your eyes closed and take yourself to that intentional place. Thinking of where you want to be tomorrow, a year from now, 5 years from now. Allowing all of your worries, your to-do list to stay out of your head. Find softening in your eyes. The space in between your eyebrows, let it release. Relax through your jaws. And then again, remind yourself to keep your shoulders away from your ears. Last breath, yogis. Blink your eyes open if they drifted closed. We'll take this all on the other side. So unwind your legs. And then bring your left shin, this time parallel towards the top of the mat. Bring your right foot back over. And placing your ankle on top of your knee and either setting something in between the space, working to relax your right knee down. Soften through your shoulders. Drift your eyes closed if it feels safe. And in this posture, I want us to think a little bit about the ocean. This is something that is so calming to me. There's something so interesting about the water, how it goes on forever and ever with no visible end. So just imagine this image. And I want you to think of this water as all of the possibilities in life, all of the different paths you could take. all the different paths are endless. One decision you make today, one decision you make this hour, can affect the path that you go on, or the path that you're choosing actively. So again, coming back to this idea of intentionality, remembering that every decision you make can take you on a different path. And that there are so many possibilities out there just waiting for you to grab and grasp. One more breath. And release it out. Blink your eyes open if they drifted closed. Bring your right knee up. Unwind your legs. Shake it out just a little bit. And then we'll windshield wiper side to side, stretching our hips in the opposite direction. One more breath. And then bring your knees up tall. Crisscross applesauce, bring your hands to your heart center. I thank you all so much for joining me in class today. I hope that your body feels amazing, your mind feels amazing. Never forget how powerful you are and all that you can do in this world. So, together we bow forward and say namaste.